Hello guys, SCOTTIESNR here. Welcome back to another one. This was the final round of the manufacture season. Let's hop on board. Qualified in 8th position in this one, but we are just glad to get away from that Red Bull round where I do believe we failed the improver points, even though we had every try at it. If we didn't improve the points, they were maybe only by 1 or 2 points. So same rules for us in the final round of the season. We're hoping the improver points, even if it's only by 10 or 15 points, it could make a huge difference to us, as everybody misjudges that first corner ever so slightly. It's still in 8th place, but a quick juke behind, and there's a wee bit of breathing space. I believe we did have a few goes at this one too. You will see in our first try and our second try at it, we have a slightly different attitude. We are feeling a little bit frustrated, and you'll see the difference and how things can go wrong and affect you in a race when you're just not in a fantastic mood. If you have any kind of frustration or anger or anything like that in you, sometimes it's best not to play. So we've had this first attempt and I do believe it was a top 5 or a top 6, which would have improved our score enough to make us not have to go again. In the toe of Mr. Bondi. Are we going to go for a move? No, backing out of that one. Keeping our patience, and there's a wee move there. Surely we've got a nose to the inside. No, we'll be nice. We'll remain behind him. What are we looking like behind us? We've now got Franco on our ass. Coming into the first corner, is there a lunge? We thought about it. Mainly just trying to protect our own spot for the moment. But I would imagine I'm sitting here pretty happy. 3 guys right in front of me, although nervous every time I look behind me. And yeah, as I say, in this one you will see the difference when you race and you're not chilled out compared to the efforts that we had when we were chilled out. Our first effort and our second effort, we were not our usual chilled out self in the race. Excuse me. We did have a little bit of frustration, I believe, at times during this race, but then we've started our third effort with a brand new attitude, and you'll see that whenever we'll get around it. But we'll concentrate on this one for the moment. Still in 6th place, Franco threatening to put a nose up the inside there. Let's hop outside, keep an eye on him. He's trying to line us up yet again. Surely he's going to get the drive on us this time. You'd like to think we would also want them off our ass at this point. And you see, we stay out nice and wide for him, and we'll lift off and come back in so as he knows, hit your own line, we don't want it back off you. So we've started, we'll drop back down to 7th. I'm back on board with a bit of bumper cam with a big rear view mirror. Probably the most popular in this game. Most people do decide to go for this one, although every one of the views, as I keep saying, I love every one of them for different reasons. And I feel most consistent on the chase cam one, which is why I use the chase cam, because it's all about consistency. It's not about fast laps. I feel like fast laps is a very, very small part of racing. If you can keep whatever speed you're at and consistently do that shit, lap in, lap out, then you're pretty damn good at a racing game. And as we bounce into the cockpit view, some people choosing to use this one as well. Slightly harder, especially when you get a poor cockpit view. There's a lot of very poor ones with no mirrors or anything. This one isn't actually too bad. We've got a bit of a mirror, and we could probably adjust that and pull it back a bit as well. And then the bonnet cam, but you don't even really see the bonnet on this, and back to the chase cam, and what we use, whatever like behind us, Mr. Ruben and Velasco 88 still behind us. Well, I'll be pretty happy here in 7th place in the queue. This is a while ago now. What was the strategy, I wonder, in this one? I don't even have a memory of what the strategy was in this one. I'm sure there will be a compulsory tyre of some sort. As the pressure starts to mount up once again on the rear end of the car, Mr. Ruben. Has Mr. Ruben got a drive on us? Is he going to poke his nose out? He does poke his nose out. Do we give him that shit? I would imagine we're not going to fight that. And down to 8th position it is. And can we hang in there and not drop back anymore? Yet again, in the outstanding personalised livery by Mr. Tom. Thank you, as always, sir. Still just about clinging on to Ruben in front of us. Mr. Ricard out in front with Casapo in second, with Mr. PG rounding off the top 3 as we drop a wheel on the dirt there. And some more pressure starting to come up. We'll have a quick skip and see when the move is done, if it is done. And I would say we're getting nervous with this guy behind us. We'd like to have him ahead of us, hopefully try and help us catch back up into this bunch. If we can try and find some sort of spot, but don't lose time. I suspect we shall do our usual trick and ask the man to climb himself into the rocket launcher that we carry beside us, and we'll point him straight ahead and see what damage he can do. But no, he's gave us a wee nose up the inside, and there you see, that's the sort of stuff that I do when I'm not really calm and chilled out. He's put a wee nose up there. Now there's no harm, I should just hit my own line, but I decide no, and these wee things are how problems occur during a race with guys. He has given me a wee nudge, and I have let him know by giving him a wee nudge back, and we'll learn our lesson that time by trying to get a bit of a cut back on him and go around the outside. That shit does not work. Into the pits, the pit crew doing an outstanding job as usual. We'll go for a skip and we're back out. Are we going to hold on to this one? In the corner, let's bounce outside, keep an eye on it. There must be a bit of pressure on the back of us. There is, Mr. Senna. My goodness, could you get a bigger name to start putting the pressure on the ass area? We've got a set of soft tyres on now, so something tells me you either had to use the hards in this one or you had to use all of the tyres. Can we start to make our way forward again? 9th place at the moment, and as I say, I do believe it was a top 6 that we needed. Top 5 or 6 to improve our points. And back on board we'll go. We'll use this part of the race for the skip, as we find ourselves in a wee bit of space on the track on our own. Back up into 7th place now. Mr. Rubin dropped back down behind us again after his pit stop. Franco in 6th, but just up ahead of us there is a bottle of bubbly. You know how much we enjoy our beverages. I'm sure we're busting for a taste of that bubbly. I can't imagine, are we going to hang it around? We are hanging it around. Yes, we got upset here too. We thought we had that spot on Franco. Franco did apologise after the race for that one, for coming back across. You see, we get a run on him, and I think we've held it around the outside quite fair. He must have maybe lost us on the radar and thought he was ahead and still able to come over and defend it. He did apologise, as I say, after the race for coming back on us there. But yeah, during the race, that wee move was a bit frustrating. We don't usually get affected by any wee bumps and taps, but in this first one we had retaliated there with the other guy with a very small bump, and again we were a bit frustrated at Franco there, not in the right frame of mind to be racing when you have anger in you. Does not usually work, gentlemen. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you might think to yourself, I need to be more aggressive, and go out and you do an aggressive race and it works out for you, and you're like, that's how I need to be racing all the time. It's not. You got lucky. Aggressive racing usually destroys your own race. You have to be very careful and pick and choose when to try and be aggressive and when to settle down. And usually for ourselves, anytime we do good, we have no aggression at all until the last lap, or possibly the last 2 laps. Still in 6th, we'll jump out because we do have a bit of pressure from Franco. Still on our ass after making that pass, unable to get away from him. But we're in 6th, which I do believe 6th place would have taken that shit. It would have improved our points by maybe 14, 15. But it looks like we're starting to want a bit of a top 5. Back on board yet again. Mr. IDK. Will not try to pronounce your second name, but again he's got 3 letters in front of his name, which is an indication of speed. Is there any kind of move to be had in there? We're trying to show him, we're trying to help him out with his trust of us, which again I would advise people to do that as well as this, rather than slow down the pace. If you're not planning on going for the move on the way in the corner, if you get out to the outside and let the guy know that you're not really wanting to fight it a whole lot, if you can keep them and hitting their own line and not worrying about yourself. You can tell pretty quickly. It only takes... I could be driving sometimes with a guy behind me and I'm nervous about him, and then he just, on the way into one corner, like on the way up here, instead of moving over and throwing his nose to the inside, he'll clearly lift off and stay on the left hand side and behind you, immediately allowing you to stop worrying about him. He's basically telling you, please stop worrying about me, I'm not going to do anything crazy, hit your own lines. So it's always advisable to try and get that message across to anyone who you feel like has a bit of speed in them. You don't necessarily need to be making a move. Not like we have a lot more speed here than Mr. Franco. We're pretty competitive on the same speed, and we're basically here saying to Franco, oh, come on Franco, stop protecting it, get over and hit your own line, sir. We're not going to do nothing crazy. And you can see when I got pressure from Ruben on her ass, tapping that ass. Are we going to lose our patience? Do we want to maybe get a move done now with the pressure mounting up from behind us? You join me as usual, guys. It's a Saturday morning and I don't have any other videos lined up at the moment, as we stay wide and hand it to Rubens, and we immediately get over to the outside. So is Rubens, nose in his head, he doesn't want it back. He's going to be nice, he's going to hit his own line, and into the pits will come for what do we end up leaving the pits on? A set of hard, so I do believe every tyre had to be used in this one. Down to 9th. And we must be pretty nervous out here now on cold hard tyres. We got Mr. Senna behind us, keeping the pressure on us, and we're just hoping that we can get round to the pit lane, and yet again we leave the inside open. I thought that was a wee bit of a squeeze there as well. There was no call for that. We had made it clear by leaving them that much on the inside that we didn't want it. And do we stay out? We do stay out. I thought I was going to come into the pits there, maybe only do one lap on the hard tyres, but as it stands, we're staying out. We'll continue with the skip. We haven't through anything crazy at the moment. Do we come in this time? We do. So we've done 2 laps. 2 laps in the hard tyres, and surely he's coming back in. That looks like a set of soft tyres that team have for him. It is indeed, and look at them go to work. My goodness, it's perfection every time. And we have dropped down to 10th place. Let's continue with the skip. See what is left for us in this race. The people catching us, we're on our own, bit of space, but there's a top 7 up ahead of us. Up to 8th, people must have coming in into the pits there, and there's a top 5 up ahead of us. My goodness, can we get ourselves up to join that party? It's lap 13, we're edging closer and closer. Do we get ourselves up there? Do not have a memory of this at the moment as we're watching it. 2 to go. I think it's time to run on board with us, see what shit goes down. There was only 2 laps to go that day. Our first attempt at it. On the way into the first corner. Do we get a nose to inside? No, very plate there of us again on Ruben. What do we like behind us? No pressure behind us at all. We must be sitting here with a big grin on our face, thinking, come on, we'll get this FIA round done and dusted and try one. As I say, I do believe a top 6 or 7 here was improving us, although I do think a top 7 was only improving us by perhaps 1 point. So really it had to be a top 6 and better in order for us to not have to have another dig at it. As Mr. Velasco makes a move on the inside of Franco, is there going to be any joy for us here whatsoever? Can we find an open again? Slightly unlucky, more drive and nowhere to go, just having to nudge into Ruben. But still, the top 4 positions right in front of us. Our mouth must be watering at the moment. We're licking our lips. And again, we've bored our cigarette. Is there any incidents? Is that a spot? Is that a spot? That's a nose to the inside, surely. Shit is indeed, and that's another nose to the inside of Franco too. We'll put it there. On the way out, we've got ourselves a top 5. Lovely jubbly. And we'll stay in the slipstream, but we'll see. We'll need to come back over to protect it from Franco, and ending up throwing an aggressive one up the inside, which we were not planning. That aggressive pass, we were kind of judging our braking off these two who were threatening to throw wild ones up the inside, so we'll come over to put them off, and the pass opens up for us. He mistimed his braking ever so slightly, and we managed to squeeze up, and we're into the top 5 on the final lap of the race. We just need to bring it home. And we'll be over the moon with this precision. Very nervous, back on board, and keep an eye. Are we having to go defensive? Slightly, we'll go slightly defensive, and we'll go too deep. Is he getting a run on the inside of us? A few more corners to go. Surely something's about to go down. We're having to go defensive again. He's got the run on us. This is for sure a time to try and defend it as best you can. What's his run like on us out of this one? He's right on us. And he's got the nose to the inside. I would expect, but we're not going to hand it over on the last lap. Just as easy as what we do every other lap. No, we'll leave it in there right to the end. We had our nose there. We've outbraked ourselves ever so slightly, and Franco jumps up, knocks us down to 6th. And again we're over defending it, because 6th place also would have improved our score, and we'll accept that shit as well. But we wanted it too much, and we'll lose the back end, and we'll drop down to 7th, which made us go again. As I say, we only improved there by 1 point or something, so we went again. Thank you, lads. Round 2 the next time. Catch you next time. Thank you. Bye.